Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. Well, today, time for something completely different, as they said in Monty Python. So I've got three things just to talk about today. But first one is, well, I'll actually do it last because it's the longest thing. But I'm going to do a review of this rather interesting DIY miniature house. It's something completely different in terms of sort of theme, shall we say. It's a gift. I got this for my wife, courtesy of our friends at Tiger Hobbies. I'm very grateful to them for supplying this, but it's something very different indeed, literally completely different. And I think you're going to find it quite interesting, and it's something that those of us that do modelling and have our long-suffering wives, girlfriends, partners, etc., who sometimes think the model boring, you know. Well, this might be like with me. This might be something interesting we can look at that might actually be for the future something you might want to consider buying as a gift for them, and you might get them into modelling by the back door, so to speak, by proxy, because it's a beautiful little sort of. It tunes into more into the sort of female style of doing hobby crafts and handicrafts. I'm not trying to be sexist about it in any way, but a lot of ladies like doing sort of origami and things like that, and it's kind of tunes into that sort of. It's not quite a model kit, but it's kind of a bit of origami and a bit of card making, paper making, all that kind of thing. Basically craft skills, you know. A lot of ladies, you know, seem to enjoy that kind of thing, and historically perhaps did it when they were younger. So we'll get into that in a minute. In the meantime, back to the model kits. I just thought I'd give you the update. We've got the Zero here. Just an update really of where I'm at with it. And honestly, by the time you watch this video, I'll do it again. Who do I think I am? Cecil B. DeMille or Spielberg or somebody? Get over yourself. Anyway, it just slipped out, honestly. It's the Eduard Zero A6M0. So it's now had its almost constructed really, and it's had its primer coat. Zoom in. It's had its primer coat, and it's had its. I'll move that house out of the way because it's just. I'll come back in a second. That can. But you can see it's getting there. It's had a primer. It's had a first coat, a fairly thin. Flat coat of its sort of grey-green. Don't know if that's coming out for you when you see it on YouTube, but this is one of those things, again, about my camera. I just realised it's doing it again, this thing where it sometimes distorts colour slightly and distorts brightness a little bit. And it's quite a grey-green, but on the image that I think you're seeing, it looks quite blue, I've noticed on the screen. How odd. It looks quite a different colour. Anyway, it's the right colour, don't worry. And it was from the, I had it in front of me, the AK range, is it Hero? I can't even pronounce it. Is it Hirokuki Green? Or anyway, it's. I'll tell you more when I do the after-build review. I'll give you all the details. But yeah, it's coming along. I've got my still got my sponges in there to stop any overspray into the wheelbase, which is already painted. So it's coming slowly. It's coming. We're getting there. It's just there's been some more issues. I've got to be honest. Nothing major, but. It continues to be a little bit frustrating. I'm not going for the full-on weathering job on this, by the way, for the simple reason that I've got my engine elsewhere. It's not in yet, but it's not going very well, is it? There we go. All right, that's it, like that. Yeah, it's like that. So I'm not going for the full-on weathering job. For the simple reason that Pearl Harbor, the planes are pretty much new and they haven't been in battle yet, so there wasn't a whole lot of weathering on them at that time. So I did a little bit, but no, it'll be quite understated, I think. It'll probably end up being slightly glossier looking than this as well, of course. But you know, we've had a few more issues, silly things like they've got this hole in the, which I've forgotten, slightly. It's not really an error on my part, something they hadn't thought about, but I think I've got some overspray has gone through the hole. It's bound to, isn't it? Having done all this fancy. Masking and then even masking on the inside so we can't get overspray, I've gone and forgotten it's got this silly hole and it's going to have oversprayed onto the black, so I'll have to tackle that later. But there's been other silly things like sticking the, I mean I'll give you more detail later, but problem with the instrumentation with the gun sight has this tiny physical gun sight in front of like an optical gun sight, and again, no proper location points to stick anything, and Problems with the canopy. You had two canopy options. One closed, one open. Now, I had intended to pose this. Somebody may have spotted in the background. I have here the ubiquitous, anciently designed Airfix. It's like it's 1967 all over again, isn't it? This is one of the better quality ones because some of them have come in very poor condition, I've got to say. But this is the Airfix traditional stand. It looks like the Starship Federation of Planets logo, doesn't it? A little bit, you know what I mean? From Star Trek. But that's your historical Airfix stand. If you look, you've got the old Airfix logo from the late 60s there, which is quite amusing. Now this particular example in my hand is one of 4 in a bag. The others weren't in such good condition. They're not great, I've got to be honest, but they do the job. You can understand how Matchbox sort of conquered the world a little bit in a small way when they came out with their stand, because it was so much better than everything else on the market. But the Frog ones weren't bad either, but the Airfix was the original, but why they didn't update it, I'll never know. I mean, why they're still not updating it, yeah? Anyway, the point was, I was going to put this on a stand, and of course I realised there's no pilot with it, there's no crew, is there? So it just gets a bit complex, doesn't it? So it's probably not going to be on a stand now. I'm probably going to put it on its undercarriage and have the canopy back, so you can see all that nice instrumentation, which is kind of wasted, I suppose, otherwise. So that's the plan. So anyway, as I say, by the time you are watching this video, this will be more advanced by then. So rest assured, as you're watching, we're well on the way with that. Anyway, what I want to start talking about today was a book. Many of you will recall at the end of December that we had that very late arrival of the Zukimura FW190 A4. So late, in fact, that I didn't think it was going to arrive till New Year. So it caught me out a little bit. I was going to get this book, and I'm so impressed by this book. I've actually got this, and I gave one copy of it. One copy is for a friend who's asked me to get it for him, and another is a gift I've given to a relative of mine. It's actually his birthday today, and the day of filming, so he's got a copy of this as well. And that's why I didn't want to put this video out any sooner, because it would sort of spoil his birthday present. So I can do it now, because I say by the time you see this, it'll be a day or two after. So it is. And this is from Amazon. It's a very cheap book. It was only about, I think it was £11, and it's absolutely brilliant. Now, with books, I find that the best books for modellers, if you understood the history, then get a full-on book that's got lots of photographic data and a lot of written data and histories. But for a lot of modellers, I think we need quick references. And I do like a book that has a lot of photographs in it. And this is the one for you then, if you like that too, because, as you will see, this is predominantly photographs. So it's Focke-Wulf FW190, early years, so this is particularly good for the A4 that was stationed over in northern France on the Western Front, basically taking pot shots at the Royal Air Force and doing various raids and dogfighting and, you know, interdictions over the south of England occasionally. And it says rare Luftwaffe photographs from wartime collections, which is exactly what we want, isn't it? So this is a guy called Chris Goss has come up with this. It's actually got a price here of $14.99 in the UK or $24.95 US dollars. Well, I got it for less than that. It came in at £11, so it was a real bargain. And it says Focke-Wulf 190 is widely regarded as the Luftwaffe's finest fighter. It saw service in northern France in August 41 onwards, immediately proving itself to be the equal of the then Spitfire Mark V. Anyway, we won't read all that, we'll just have a quick flick in it, and I'll just give you an idea what it's actually like, because this is a bit of a, for those of you that have got, many of you have gone out, of course the Zukimura FW190 I voted as my kit of the year last year, and I really haven't seen anything else, including now I've seen the Airfix Buccaneer, which is, yeah, quite nice, but not perfect, but very nice. But it couldn't possibly topple that Zukimura. So it definitely was, in my view, the best kit that came out last year. I mean, no doubt about that. So those of you that have got that kit now, you might want to invest in this for £11. It's a no-brainer. So let's have a look at it and see what you think, and then I'll get onto this other rather interesting subject. So I'll just do a quick flick through it, really. That's all, just to give you an idea, a bit of a flavour for it. So it starts off with a bit of history, a little bit of an introduction, and then it starts getting into the early prototypes and the first operational aircraft that came in. Gives a bit of detail about their armaments. So I think I need to zoom a bit more. There we go. All the various armaments. Showing here one of the personal bomblets. It's some interesting stuff that I haven't seen before. I mean, I've got to say about half the photos in this book I don't think I've seen before, so it's really worth considering. There's a crashed example there, remains of one. It's got bomb racks on it. Been destroyed in situ, so that's almost certainly probably an American or British low-level fighter sweeper's taken that out. And then it starts to talk about Kurt Tank, lots of the history, the training, how the aircraft was developed, pictures of it in the wind tunnel. And of course the story was that originally they weren't happy, they had problems with the cooling system on this, which is why they developed that fan, which is of course on the operational model soon became a feature on just behind the prop spinner. You've got this fan and that's there to cool the engine. Lots of examples of crashed ones here. FW190, oh dear. Yeah, we all know about this, don't we? Armin Faber, of course, was the one of the guys who ended up coming over and having a dog fight. Got a bit confused with his directions and ended up landing it in Pembrey, thinking it was the UK, which was thinking it was France. He thought he crossed back to France, and he had in fact crossed to Wales. So that's quite a funny story. Mentions Armin Faber. I was talking about somebody else there, but of course this fell into the Allies' hands, and then we very quickly knew all about it. And there it is in its RAF markings. Well, the aircraft research establishment, wasn't it? They basically took it over and started took it apart basically, and started looking at every element of it, understanding its strengths, understanding its weaknesses. Engine removal here. Incredible that we got our hands on it quite early doors, wasn't it? Does it actually say the date? I think it was June 42. Yeah, RAE at Farnborough. Somebody mentioned to me last week when we were talking about the Bristol fighter, and I was saying about the RAE, and I got it slightly wrong. I said that they were over at near Andover there, and I forgot the location now, the name of the... anyway, it doesn't matter. Farnborough is the correct location. Excuse me. And it's comprehensively tested. So, does it say? Does it say the date? That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, Armin Faber, there we go. The arrival of Armin Faber's 190 created considerable interest. Jagersvader II's cockerel head on the front of the cowl. I mean, it must have been very, very dispiriting to this guy. Thought he'd landed in France, and then he got arrested at gunpoint, of course. Yeah, it's talking about Alwas there. Alwas Zacco. Anyway, we're moving on. So it's just a plethora of photographs and the sheer quality of them. All these shots of it crash landed and people getting out of them. Close-ups of the close-up here of the cockpit and the canopy. Always valuable. These are obviously the ones that are based in northern France, near Cherbourg in this case. Got the kill markings here. Josef Vermheller, who became an ace. You can see a shot there. You can see the fan quite well there, can't you? With the propeller and the prop removed, the spinner and the propeller gone. It's quite a clear idea of how big that fan was as well. It's huge, isn't it? More kill markings. Shooting down some American ones there. French planes, RAF planes. And you can see them actually spraying them on the tail, look. Putting the markings on the tails. All the units in North West Europe have got shots from gun cameras here, and one being shot up. Attacked by Mustangs, is it? Or nope, been attacked by Spitfire, I think. Tony Robson, a 485 squadron, I think Spitfire's attacking it, and it's shooting it up, and they've got the gun camera going, and you can see the undercarriages involuntarily coming down. You can even see the pilot actually jumping out there. See that? Jumping out to bail out. And then you've just got so many amazing photographs, and it just goes on and on and on. It's just such, for the money, this is such a great book. There's so much of it as well. Sorry. And shows some of the characters who flew these planes. You know, again, some more gun camera footage here. This one's up against a P-47 Thunderbolt. It's kind of met its match there, hasn't it, in terms of power and strength. Near Dulman. Yeah, I think it was basically the aircraft was destroyed. Yeah, so it didn't make it. Didn't make it. Again, a lot of pictures of them painting kill marks on, but you know, they didn't have it all their own way, as you can see. Various maintenance shots, Jarbo doing fighter bomber work, attacking ground targets. And there's the famous the bomb carrier, which is like a lifting jack system. Which, if you get the Tamiya 48 scale kit, there's a set available, isn't there, where it has figures and the bomb carrier comes with it. Here we've got one that's all peppered with machine gun bullet holes. Look at it. Shot down off Beachy Head. Gosh, he was killed. Oh dear. Fritz Herbert. That aircraft. Shows in more detail here some of the many bullet holes. That's a cannon shell hole. That's probably a Spitfire or a Mustang hit it. Entrance hole. Entrance hole. Oh. Okay. So it's taken a big lump out of that. And they've got them with these bombs being loaded, very much like the Tamiya one I mentioned. Here we've got one crashed near Eastbourne, gone down. Pilot's killed. And then they've got them under these a hangar. It's a hangar, it looks very makeshift looking hangar, it looks like a tent. Wow, okay. But you know, there's just a lot of stuff here. They're pouring champagne here, enjoying the high life in France. Oh yes, I'll be getting into that, wouldn't I? And then you just got more and more great pictures of some of the different markings, different squadrons that are operating them. More gun camera shots. There's quite a lot of those, especially with the Mustangs. West Malling. Another one being shot down here. Yeah, somebody was telling me that the Royal Aircraft Establishment, just zoom back there. Somebody was telling me that the Royal Aircraft Establishment, this gentleman that pointed out about Farnborough, being at Farnborough, he also said they had a site, a very active site at Nettershall Heath in Suffolk, which is where the actual original prototype Spitfire ended up crashing there. I think it was pretty much destroyed. Which I didn't know, and I used to live not far from there, only about 10 miles away. Very interesting stuff, you know. Good to know these things. Anyway, let's have a closer look again to see the rest of the book. A lot of damage here as various RAF officers examining this FW190. And then we've got another one crashed here. Lost this time. Where was this one crashed? Near Capel, that's on the coast, isn't it? Oh no, Cape. Cairn Carpet Cake, from Cairn Carpet Cake, near Capel. Well, that's on the White Cliffs of Dover, Capel, isn't it? Capel the Fen. And then you've got the one in the British markings, which would be quite a good subject for a model, wouldn't it, to put it in the RAE markings. And then we've got various other ones that have hit the ground. Oh yeah, you can see there the access panel, of course, which is featured on that Zokimura kit very well. It's just brilliant as a reference, this book, though, for modelers, because it's got, you know, if you want to do a damaged one, you know, some sort of a diorama, you can do that. You've got reconnaissance options with cameras on them. It's just a really wonderful thing. It shows parachutists coming down there. What's all that about? Parachute exercise. Well, I think it was the Allies that did most of the parachuting in the war by that time. Toulon, you can see them moving further south and further east. And then we've got here birthday of the captain, Mediterranean operations. So this is sort of moving into the middle of the war now. So 41, 42, I think. And what's this one? Accident, taking off and has crashed and landed. I think the pilot was uninjured. The plane wasn't, was it? It's a right mess. And look at that, they're using a pram to transport ammunition, it looks like. Good grief. It's a really nice book, there we go. So anyway, because it's on, you know, it's very appropriate for that A4 that I talked about, the Zokimura. It's an early war aircraft, and that book is just fantastic. So many good references there. I think you'd be well advised to at least consider that one. Anyway, moving on. Now for something completely different. The DIY miniature house. And it's actually Sam's Study, and it's ROLIFE. ROLIFE, is that the manufacturer? ROLIFE. Okay, that's the name of them. Made in China. Have a look at this. This is something very different, and you might be able to get the wives, girlfriends, or any or younger members of the family, indeed, if they're not interested in military aircraft and things like that, or usual subjects of modelling. Something a bit more arty, perhaps. Something that's will appeal to the creativity of many, I'm sure. So it says here, the product requires 2 lithium batteries, CR2032, so those are the ones that like 10p piece. You know, so big, round. Age 14 plus. Okay. So the company's actually in Bulgaria. It's made in China, but the company themselves are in Bulgaria. So it's quite interesting, isn't it? Let's have a look at what we got here, because this is going to be a very different review from me, I think. So it comes in this box, and it says it's all recyclable, very much like a kit. And then we've got here the instructions. Zoom in for this. Sam's Study. And they do look very charming, I've got to say these. They look quite... Reminds me actually of the... I think it caught my eye because when I was at Telford there was this famous photograph which I think I used on my thumbnail for my Telford visit this year, where it showed the modeller sat in his study, sat at his workbench, and his wife walking in with a tray with tea and biscuits on it, you know. And a pot of tea, and it was very similar to this in a way, and it sort of made me think of it quite a lot. So anyway, let's see what we got. It's always very much a handicrafts thing. I'm not going to know what I'm talking about to a degree here, I'm afraid. Even worse than usual. There's all sorts of stuff. My lord, I don't know. I'm sure ladies in the audience who are familiar with handicrafts are going to know a lot more about this than I do, because I'm not even sure how to describe some of these parts. We've got some glue, some description, I think. We've got... I'm not sure what that is, I'm not going to open it because it's plugged everywhere. There's all sorts of things I don't... That's some other glue, isn't it? There's all sorts... And it comes as a complete kit, you know, it's ready to go. You can just start building it. You've got all sorts of different types of flooring, look, like tiled flooring. And you've got paper paintings, and sorry, this is for the books in the library. So you've got all these. I'll zoom you in. More beneficial for you to see it closer. So let's have a look. I think my wife. I think she'll be able to do this. I think she should be up for it. She seems quite enthusiastic-ish. But yeah, so here we are. So this is basically all the book covers for the library. And look at this. You've got all sorts. You've got book on Van Gogh and Impressionist painters and all sorts of things. Over the side, yeah, more. It's very interesting, isn't it? It's something a bit different. I think it's good for us modelers as well to look at things that are. It just gives you ideas, doesn't it? So there's a couple of pages of those. Then we've got what looks like recipe books. There we go. Recipe books with cupcakes on it and all sorts of things like that. So this is your cookbooks. I think it's flour pressing as well. So that's those. Here we've got the. Whoops, that's a bit. Here we've got some more book covers. History, art, life, various books. You've got your lino floor tiles, and you've got like a map of the world there. These are sort of pictures on the wall type of thing. Different pictures on the wall. Map of the world. It's all in paper. And over here we've got more books. Oh, very interesting stuff. And then I've got to tell you, it actually comes with the batteries. I didn't know that. The batteries are included. Wow. That's cool because it's got lights in it and everything. So it's quite a thing. It's quite a thing. I think it might make more sense if I look at the instructions, because otherwise I think we're just going to be a little bit baffled about what we're looking at. So what we have here, Sam's study. Brief introduction tells you what materials you're going to need, and basically if you're a modeller you'll have pretty much all the materials you'll need anyway. But look at this. It starts off by you sort of draw around. Verifying the sizes, marking the illustrations that are on the paper, and then you're going to build up. There's like little pieces of wood, so you're going to build up a wooden cabinet. Excuse me. Wooden cabinet. There's obviously some tools in here as well. There's wire. Let's just show this. You've got wire. You've got screwdrivers. You've got the lights in here. Little lights. You've got a control box like a switch box for the lights. I mentioned the glue. Comes with everything really. So here's all your the bits you cut out as templates for your furniture. It's a great big template of various parts of the furniture in the room. And then here is the actual bags which contain all the parts, the wooden parts that make up the various cabinets and bookcases, etc. This all seems to be wood. It is wood. Yeah, it's wood. It's all pre-cut for you, so it's a bit like it's kind of a bit like IKEA in miniature, isn't it? Really, it's quite amazing to be honest. So there we go. Another one here with yet more wooden sections for the bookcases, and more again, different colour ones this time. Got blue, we've got sort of pinky red, got brown and sort of sandy coloured ones, and they're all pre-cut. Everything's like CNC cut for you, so you don't have to do anything too dramatic there. And then here, this is where we've got all the framing, frames for pictures and things. Bring you in a bit. Picture frames. Check that out. That's quite interesting, isn't it? Yeah, that's really cool. You've got various different size picture frames. You've got the ladders, the library ladders, for climbing up to look at the books at the side. So incredible. And then yes, indeed, it even comes with tweezers, so it's very good value. It comes with a pair of metal. I think they're metal. It comes with a pair of tweezers, and it comes with all the little illumination bobbins and various parts. There's nothing else you're going to need, I think, outside of this. I think everything is here, including these little lamp think they're actually little bulbs, basically. And it comes with a brush to help you paint it and everything. All different materials, fabrics included. It's an astonishing set, really. So let's just... Then finally, I won't open it because this is the wife's now. But you've got the base here for it, and then you've got all the sort of side wall assemblies. And again, everything's pre-cut for you. So you've just got to slot it all together. And obviously that's wood glue, I think, one of those. This one, I think. Looks like it's wood glue. So you're going to glue it together. If you follow the instructions, it should be straightforward, shouldn't it? And then finally here we've got some picture frames. So, we'll zoom in and look at these instructions. It'll all make a lot more sense when we see that. So you're building up these cabinet shelves, and then you've got also got cabinets with like a little door handle on it, opening cabinet. Isn't it wonderful? It's like a doll's house in miniature, isn't it? And then you're going to build up, you've got cupboards with drawers in, and you've got all various shelves like bookshelves, different book cabinets, here's the different coloured ones, red. So the sandy coloured one, there's your library ladder, absolutely incredible. Small cabinet, and then you've got all these little fittings which you just saw in the bag, all the fittings. I mean the kit is complete, you don't need anything else apart from just the tools, basic tools like scissors and knives and things. Building up a little cabinet there, and there's even a sofa chair, like a high back chair, isn't that nice? That's absolutely incredible. Look at that. And you're going to wrap it with the fabric to give it that real sort of finish. I mean, this is just like model making. It really is the same thing, isn't it? Really, it's just working with more traditional craft materials. Round table with a tablecloth. I can imagine a lot of people's wives finding this genuinely really enjoyable, and get a lot of satisfaction out of building this, because it requires some skill. I don't think you need to be total expert or anything, but it's going to require a little bit of skill and patience. But look at that, making a box, look, making up a box. Things like Christmas wrapping papers that go in a box. Isn't that amazing? A fruit tray with fruit in it, look. Incredible. A leather suitcase. It just gets better and better, doesn't it? Look at that. Suitcase, paper box. And then you start making the books, look. Oh, so it's actually the pages of the books as well. Oh my word. That's really good, isn't it? And then you're making these books that are going to go in the shelf. And you've got all these different book types. This will take a while, won't it? And then you've got your paintings, as I mentioned, with the painting, picture frames. All the different styles. You've got like water lilies, then you've got plants. You're going to make flowers, flower making. Look at that! It really does cross a lot of different areas of handicrafts. This plant making model plants, which would be good for modellers, for us to practice, because good for dioramas, you know. Then you've got a vase there with a bowl of flowers. Absolutely incredible. And then finally, how to place all your components into your cabinets, with your vase of flowers on the top, and your fruit tray on the top of your little self-standing book cabinet there. There's your ladder with a book on top, sofa chair with some books sitting on it, and then you've got your little round table with a tablecloth. And then at the end it tells you, so it gets you to build all the ancillaries, and then you build the actual room at the end, and it's just for using this glue. I'm not sure what type of glue that is. That might be super glue actually. I might have to be a bit careful, me personally, but there's obviously wood glue, and there's what looks like maybe super glue or something similar as well, something fairly strong. Does it say what the glue is? White latex. It just says liquid glue. So the white latex is your wood glue, obviously. And you've got light beads. But anyway, and then it shows you over here, you build up the basic construction of the room, and then you've got your roof, and this is where you put your lights in, genuinely illuminating light, and you just wire that all up together. Don't know if you need to do any soldering here. I think so. I think they have connectors. And then yeah, you got the. It's like a multimedia kit, this, isn't it? It's absolutely amazing. You're building up your little chandelier type of thing, light fixing in the roof, ceiling, and then it's going to hang down, and then ultimately you connect up your wiring and your batteries, which are provided, again, all in the kit. Pop in your flooring, you've got, I think there's two choices. You've got like a wooden floor or a vinyl tile floor, and then at the end you just choose which sort of way around you want to put them, and the final sequence of assembly, you sort of build the room up, layering it in effect, putting in all your cabinets and all your little tables and your book cabinets, etc. And there you have it. But what an amazing, it's very sort of Japanese to me. It's made in China, I was going to say it's a Bulgarian company, but there's a sort of Japaneseness about it, sort of an origami flavour to it. I found it, I saw it at the Telford show, and I was fascinated by it, I've got to be honest. And they had several of them, there's not just this one, I think they had 4 or 5 different types, different rooms. And they were totally intriguing, you know, something very different. And the fact that it's all there, everything is provided apart from, as I say, scissors and a knife, really. It's probably all you need. Does it mention anything else? Ruler, okay, scissors, small pliers and a pencil. Just the basics, you know, so you don't need anything fancy. A lot of what you need is actually already in here, like tweezers. So, and you've got all these materials. It's just a nice as a gift for somebody. Make a nice gift for your other half, and it really would, I think, be really enjoyable for people to build that. I think that would be a real talking point, and just be a word of warning about it though. If you do buy this for a wife, partner, girlfriend, etc, etc, they might get so hooked on it, they'll start building these, it'll take over your model cabinet and you'll be out. Models will be gathering dust somewhere. Yeah, hoiked across the other side of the house or in the loft or something. So there we go, so that was quite remarkable, and as I say, it caught my eye and I thought, what's a nice looking thing, you know. Whether I can get it all back in the box is quite another story, of course, but I think that might be a bit of a challenge. I like the way that they provide all the fitments and fixtures, and you don't have to go out and source anything else. Everything you need is in that box, everything you need. Get that in there, if I can. Yes, there we go. There you have it. So that was Sam's study, and this is from ROLIFE, and you can buy these either for, I think you can get them direct from Tiger Hobbies, but you can I think you can get them on the internet through other distributors as well. Probably craft stores, I would imagine. There's certainly something a bit different, and something that particularly the lady in your life, or indeed yourself, I mean, frankly, it's so fascinating. I could get into that if I didn't have any models. I think that it's one of those things that once you start it, you'll get absorbed into it, and you'll want to do more and more and more. Anyway, there we are. That's me done for today. So, hope you found it interesting. Quick update on the model. Wanted to show you that FW190 book, and this, which is quite unique and quite different. I thought it's just worthy of a mention, and it might just give you some ideas to look into ROLIFE. Have a look at their products. You might well find that they make a good gift for a daughter or whoever. Doesn't have to be ladies, as I say. Fascinating to me as well. I thought that was very tempting, you know, for a model builder to do something a bit different and just diversify a little bit. Very interesting subject. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you found it was worth your while. Hope you'll give us a thumbs up, give us a 10 out of 10, showing you something a bit different today. Completely different. And yeah, thanks for your time in watching the video. Please stay tuned. By the time you're watching this, I'll be getting close to completion on my Zero, I think, because we're almost there, aren't we really? We've not got far to go, to be honest. And on the day I speak today, filming it, probably going to give that another coat, to give it a bit more of a wet coat on the top, I think, and then we'll probably proceed to the final assembly, a little bit of gentle weathering and get the decals on it, and that's it really. And then we'll be moving on to the Mosquito in February. It's definitely going to happen, and I'm going to look forward to that very, very much so. And it's like looking forward to, you know, a favourite holiday or something like Christmas or your birthday. It's looking forward to a very nice experience. I'm sure, I'm not saying it'll be perfect, because I know that with 1 or 2 challenges I've got some aftermarket to get in there, but it'll be more fun than a lot of the other kits I've been building in the last year or 2, I think. So please stay tuned. I'll give you the update and after build video for you to enjoy on the Zero, and then we'll get into that Mosquito fairly quick with some regular updates. Thanks for all your time. Hope to see you again soon. In the meantime, stay well, stay safe. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care and bye for now.